Have you ever wondered who your true enemy is? Is it the world around you? The people who misunderstand you? Or is it something far more elusive? The restless voice inside your own mind? That constant chatter, the doubts, the fears, and the overthinking that never seems to stop. In today's fast-paced world, stress, overthinking, and negative self-talk have become all too common. We're constantly distracted by external pressures, work, social media, and the constant rush to do more, or be more. But what about the noise in our minds? How often do we find ourselves trapped in a loop of worries, unable to focus or feel at peace? This endless mental chatter doesn't just affect our productivity, it affects our mental health. When we let our minds run unchecked, we lose sight of the present moment, causing anxiety, confusion, and a sense of being overwhelmed. The truth is, our minds are not our enemies. We just haven't learned how to control them. But there's good news. You have the power to change this. In this video, we'll guide you through Buddhist wisdom on how to gain control over your mind and transform your life. By practicing mindfulness, observing your thoughts, and reprogramming your mindset, you can break free from the cycle of overthinking and reclaim your peace and clarity. Here at Son.Mindfulness, we believe in the power of mindfulness to help you master your mind and improve your well-being. Our channel is dedicated to bringing you the best of Buddhist wisdom, mindfulness practices, and mental health tips to help you live a more peaceful, purposeful, and fulfilled life. If you're ready to take control of your thoughts and emotions, subscribe to our channel and join our community of mindful individuals. By subscribing, you'll have access to more videos that will help you stay on the path of peace and transformation. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed and stuck in your thoughts, stay with us. Let's dive into how you can start mastering your mind and improve your mental health. Trust me, this journey will change the way you experience life, one thought at a time. Section 1. The real battle begins within. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, who is my true enemy? Is it the world around you, the people who misunderstand you, or is it something far more elusive? What if the real enemy is something much closer? It's the quiet, restless voice in your mind. That voice that never stops talking, never lets you be still. It whispers doubts, fears, worries, and judgments. It constantly pulls you away from the present moment, making you question your worth. But here's the truth. Those thoughts are not you. Think about it for a moment. Imagine your mind as a vast, endless sky. Now picture the thoughts and worries as clouds that come and go. You are not the cloud, you are the sky. But how do you get out of this storm? How do you stop feeling trapped in the whirlwind of overthinking? The answer lies within you, deep in the wisdom of Buddhist teachings. Buddhism has always understood something profound about the mind. It teaches that the greatest battles we face are not external, they are internal. The struggle for peace, clarity, and happiness happens inside of us, in the very thoughts that shape our world. The first step is realizing that your mind is not your master. Buddha himself said, "With our thoughts, we make the world." Imagine that for a moment. The world you experience, your emotions, your relationships, they all start in the mind. So if you let your mind control you, it's like letting a wild beast take the reins of your life. It's easy to feel like a victim of your own overthinking. You might think, I can't help it, my thoughts control me. But here's the good news. You can break free from this cycle. When we don't master our minds, the chaos of the world controls us. Have you ever noticed how your thoughts jump from one worry to the next? Your mind spirals, playing the same old scenarios over and over again. Maybe you start wondering about something small, but before you know it, that small worry turns into an entire mental mountain. This cycle, this overthinking, is a major drain on your mental health. It exhausts your energy, steals your peace, and keeps you from seeing the beauty in the present moment. But what if you could change all of that? What if you could step back and observe your thoughts instead of being controlled by them? This is where Buddhist wisdom can guide you. Buddhism teaches us the art of mindfulness, being aware of our thoughts without being swept away by them. This practice doesn't involve fighting your mind. It's not about suppressing thoughts or pushing them away. Instead, it's about observing them from a distance, like watching clouds drift across the sky. The more you practice this, the more you realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer. You are the sky. So how can you begin? Start by simply pausing and acknowledging when you are caught in a cycle of overthinking. Ask yourself, am I in control of my thoughts, or are they controlling me? When you recognize the power of your mind, you can start choosing a new path. You can start choosing peace. Here's a question for you. What happens when you stop reacting to your thoughts? When you stop overthinking, have you ever tried just letting a thought pass by without clinging to it? If not, give it a try today. The next time a worry arises, try observing it without judgment. Notice how it feels, and watch it drift away. The Buddha's teachings show us that peace doesn't come from external circumstances. It comes from within. The more we learn to control our thoughts, the more we reclaim our peace and our mental health. This is the first step in mastering your mind, and it's just the beginning. In the next section, we'll explore how to train your mind, just like you would train a wild elephant. It's not about controlling it harshly, it's about guiding it with wisdom and patience. Stay with me as we move into section 2, the mind as a wild elephant. Tame it. Section 2, the mind as a wild elephant. Tame it. Have you ever tried to control a wild animal? Imagine a massive elephant running free, trampling everything in its path. Now, imagine trying to tame it. It seems impossible, doesn't it? This is exactly how the mind works. When left untamed, it wreaks havoc in our lives. It pulls us in every direction without regard for peace or purpose. The mind, like a wild elephant, can easily overwhelm us with its constant thoughts, doubts, and fears. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that the mind is often like this unruly beast. If we don't learn to tame it, it will trample our happiness, our mental health, and our clarity. But there's hope. Just as an elephant can be trained with patience and understanding, so too can our minds. The key is in the training. Training the mind is not about force or domination. It's not about fighting every thought that comes. Rather, it's about guiding the mind with wisdom, mindfulness, and consistency. So how do we begin? The first step is to acknowledge that the mind is wild. It's easy to think that we should always have control. But the truth is, our minds often run amok. When you start to recognize this, you can approach your thoughts with gentleness and awareness. Let's take a moment to reflect. Have you ever felt like your thoughts are just running away from you? Maybe it's the fear of failure, or the constant worry about what others think. These thoughts can become so loud and overwhelming that it feels impossible to find peace. But just like the wild elephant, when you stop and observe, you begin to understand that the mind can be tamed. A story from Buddhist teachings can help illustrate this. There was once a great monk who was known for his deep meditation and inner peace. One day a young disciple came to him and said, "Master, my mind is constantly racing. It's like a wild elephant and I can't control it." The monk smiled and replied, "The elephant is wild. Yes, but remember, the elephant is not the enemy. The enemy is when we think we cannot guide it." With time, the monk taught the disciple how to calm his mind by practicing mindfulness and observing his thoughts. Through practice, the young disciple was able to transform his mind from an untamed beast into a peaceful ally. Just like this disciple, you too can learn to tame your mind. You don't need to force it into submission. Instead, you guide it gently, just like an elephant tamer teaches the elephant to follow their lead. To begin this practice, set aside just a few minutes each day. Find a quiet space and sit still. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and simply observe your thoughts without judgment. Don't try to push them away, but don't get caught up in them either. Allow each thought to pass by, just like clouds drifting across the sky. This is the first step in taming your mind, and over time, you'll start to notice a shift. Instead of your mind pulling you in every direction, it will begin to listen to your guidance. It will become a powerful ally, helping you find clarity and peace. But here's the catch. This process takes time. Just like training an elephant, it requires patience and consistent effort. It's not about perfection, but about progress. Let me ask you this. How often do you let your thoughts control you? Do you feel like your mind is a wild elephant that can't be tamed? What would happen if you started observing your thoughts without judgment? What if you took a step back and let your mind come to you instead of chasing after it? Now that we've explored how to begin taming the wild elephant of our minds, in the next section, we'll dive into the power of the subconscious mind and how it influences your reality. Get ready for Section 3, the power of the subconscious mind, the gardener of your life. Section 3, the power of the subconscious mind, the gardener of your life. Imagine your mind as a garden. Every thought you have is a seed. These seeds can grow into beautiful flowers or stubborn weeds, depending on what you plant. Now picture this. Your subconscious mind is the fertile soil. It doesn't question what you plant. It simply accepts every seed, nourishes it, and allows it to grow. So if you plant a seed of fear, it will grow into a weed of doubt. If you plant a seed of confidence, it will blossom into a flower of self-belief. This is the power of the subconscious mind. It shapes your reality, even when you're not fully aware of it. Have you ever stopped to think about the thoughts you repeat every day? Perhaps you often worry about your health or fear that you're not good enough. These are the seeds you're planting in your subconscious mind. Over time, they begin to grow and shape your beliefs about yourself and the world around you. So what seeds are you planting right now? Buddhist wisdom teaches us that our thoughts are like seeds. They don't just disappear into nothingness. They sink deep into the soil of our subconscious, where they take root and influence our actions. This is why mental health is so closely linked to what we think. If you repeatedly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed," you are planting seeds of self-doubt and fear. But if you tell yourself, "I am enough," or "I have the strength to overcome challenges," you are planting seeds of confidence and growth. The question is, what seeds are you planting in your mind every day? Take a moment and think about it. Are you constantly feeding your mind with negativity and fear, or are you nurturing it with positive, empowering thoughts? Let's look at an example. There's a story in Buddhist teachings about a monk who struggled with self-doubt and fear. Every time he encountered a challenge, his mind would flood with negative thoughts. "I'm not strong enough," he would think. "I'll never be able to overcome this." But one day, a wise elder monk noticed his struggle and said, "The mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of fear, they will grow into weeds of doubt. But if you plant seeds of peace and confidence, you will cultivate a garden of calm and strength." The young monk took these words to heart. He began to shift his thoughts, replacing negative self-talk with positive affirmations. Each day he planted seeds of mindfulness and peace, and slowly his mind transformed. Where once there were weeds of fear, now grew flowers of self-belief. This is the power of the subconscious mind. It can either work for you or against you, depending on what seeds you plant. Now, let's dive deeper into this practice. One way to start changing your subconscious programming is through affirmations. Affirmations are simple, positive statements that you repeat to yourself daily. For example, you might say, "I am worthy of love and success," or "I trust myself to handle whatever comes my way." These affirmations help rewire your subconscious mind, slowly replacing negative beliefs with empowering ones. Another powerful practice is visualization. close your eyes and imagine the life you want to create. See yourself succeeding, feeling confident, and achieving your dreams. Feel the emotions as if it's already happening. By repeatedly visualizing this future, you plant seeds in your subconscious that will eventually grow into your reality. Here's something to consider. What would happen if you spent just 5 minutes a day planting positive seeds in your mind? What if you stopped watering the weeds of doubt and started nurturing the seeds of confidence and peace? Imagine how your life could transform. Buddhism teaches us that our lives are shaped by the seeds we plant, not just in the external world, but within our own minds. Mental health is not just about how we feel today, but about how we cultivate our inner world over time. So, what will you choose to plant today? Will you continue to feed your mind with negativity and fear? Or will you begin nurturing it with positivity, peace, and self-belief? In the next section, we'll explore how to stop the destructive cycle of overthinking and create space for clarity. Stay with me as we move into section 4, How to Stop Overthinking, a Buddhist Approach. Section 4, How to Stop Overthinking, a Buddhist Approach. Have you ever found yourself trapped in a loop of thoughts, unable to break free? You know the feeling. Your mind won't stop spinning, moving from one worry to the next, like a washing machine that never stops turning. This is overthinking in action. You begin by thinking about one small problem, and before you know it, you've created a storm of worries that never seem to end. What if I told you that overthinking is not just a bad habit, but a way of avoiding deeper feelings? It's like a defense mechanism. A way to distract ourselves from the uncomfortable silence that comes when we truly sit with our thoughts. But here's the thing. Overthinking doesn't solve problems. In fact, it often makes them worse. It drains your energy, clouds your clarity, and keeps you from experiencing the present moment. Buddhist wisdom offers a simple yet powerful approach to break free from this cycle of overthinking. The key is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment, observing your thoughts without judgment or attachment. It's about letting go of the need to control every thought and simply allowing them to come and go. But how do you begin to practice mindfulness when your mind is constantly racing? Start by pausing. Pause and breathe. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, feel the tension begin to melt away. This simple act of breathing can stop the cycle of overthinking in its tracks. When you take a moment to breathe deeply, you remind your body and mind that you are in control, not your thoughts. The next step is to observe your thoughts without judgment. When a thought comes up, don't push it away or try to solve it right away. Instead, observe it like a passing cloud. Notice it, but don't cling to it. It's just a thought. It doesn't define you. It's just like the clouds in the sky that come and go, drifting away without leaving any trace. Here's something to consider. How often do you get caught in the trap of overthinking? How often do you find yourself spiraling, unable to break free from that endless loop? What would happen if, instead of reacting to your thoughts, you simply observed them? What if you could just watch your thoughts pass by without getting attached to them? There's a beautiful story in Buddhist teachings about a monk who was constantly troubled by his overthinking. Every time he sat down to meditate, his mind would race with worries. "I have too much to do," he would think. "Where do I even begin?" He tried to push the thoughts away, but the harder he tried, the worse they became. One day, an elder monk noticed his struggle and shared this wisdom. Your mind is like a river. If you try to control the river, it will become a flood. But if you allow the river to flow naturally, it will return to its peaceful state. The young monk understood. He stopped fighting his thoughts and began observing them. Slowly, he found that his overthinking began to subside. He learned that by accepting his thoughts without judgment, he could regain control of his mind. The flood of overthinking no longer overtook him. Instead, he could let his thoughts flow like a peaceful river without being swept away. What if you could do the same? What if you could stop fighting your thoughts and simply let them flow without attaching any judgment to them? When you stop overthinking, you make room for clarity and peace. Another Buddhist technique to stop overthinking is to focus on your senses. Take a moment to feel the ground beneath you, the air around you, the sounds in your environment. This act of grounding yourself in the present moment brings you out of your head and into your body. It connects you to the here and now, where overthinking can't reach you. Mental health often suffers when we allow our thoughts to spiral uncontrollably. But by practicing mindfulness, you can break free from the grip of overthinking and reclaim your peace. Ask yourself this: what would it feel like if you didn't have to overthink every decision? What if you could approach each moment with clarity without being clouded by unnecessary worries? By practicing mindfulness, you can stop overthinking and create space for peace and clarity in your life. This practice, rooted in Buddhist wisdom, will help you regain control of your mind and improve your mental health. In the next section, we will explore how you can reprogram your mind for lasting change, shifting from old, negative thought patterns to empowering beliefs. Stay with me as we move into Section 5, Reprogramming the Mind for Change. Section 5, Reprogramming the Mind for Change. Imagine this: your mind is like a computer, and your thoughts are the programs it runs. Just like any software, if your mind is running outdated programs, it can't function at its best. What happens if you don't update your software? It gets slow, it's filled with bugs, and it may even crash. The same thing happens with your mind. If you keep running the same negative thoughts, doubts, and fears, they become the default settings. But the good news is, you can reprogram your mind. You don't have to live with old, limiting beliefs. You can change the way you think, feel, and experience life. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that the mind is not a fixed entity. It's flexible, adaptable, and can be shaped by the thoughts and beliefs we choose to focus on. If you've spent years nurturing thoughts of fear, self-doubt, or anger, those thoughts have shaped your reality. But just like a gardener tending to a garden, you can begin to change the seeds you plant in your mind. So, how do you reprogram your mind for positive change? The first step is to become aware of the thoughts that are running on autopilot. What are the beliefs that you repeat to yourself every day? Do you often think, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed"? These thoughts may have been with you for years, but they are not your truth. They are simply programs your mind has learned over time. Have you ever asked yourself, what if these beliefs were never true to begin with? What if I could replace these old patterns with new, empowering thoughts? What would happen if I started thinking differently about myself, my abilities, and my future? The next step in reprogramming your mind is to choose new thoughts. You have the power to create a new mental program. Just like updating the software on your phone, start by replacing negative beliefs with positive affirmations. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," replace it with, "I am capable of learning and growing." Instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," replace it with, "I am worthy and deserving of success and happiness." The power of affirmations lies in their repetition. When you repeat positive affirmations daily, you are telling your subconscious mind what you want it to believe. Over time, these affirmations will replace the old, limiting beliefs and help you create a new reality. Buddhist wisdom teaches that our thoughts create our world. If you focus on negativity and self-doubt, your reality will reflect those thoughts. But if you choose to focus on gratitude, possibility, and self-belief, you will begin to experience a life that mirrors those thoughts. Let's take another step forward. Visualization is another powerful tool for reprogramming your mind. Visualization is the practice of seeing yourself achieving your goals, living the life you want, and becoming the person you aspire to be. When you visualize your success, you are planting seeds in your subconscious mind that will eventually grow into reality. Think about this. When you visualize your goals and dreams as already being real, you begin to create a roadmap for your mind to follow. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It believes whatever you tell it. By vividly imagining your success, you are training your mind to recognize the opportunities, resources, and actions needed to make it happen. The power of mental health is rooted in our ability to choose our thoughts and beliefs. If you consistently reprogram your mind with positive thoughts, affirmations, and visualizations, you'll begin to see profound changes in your life. You'll move from a place of self-doubt to self-confidence, from fear to courage, and from stagnation to growth. Here's something to reflect on. What would your life look like if you started reprogramming your mind every day? How different would you feel if you replaced limiting beliefs with empowering ones? What could you achieve if you began seeing yourself as capable, worthy, and deserving of happiness? This journey of reprogramming is not about quick fixes. It's about consistent effort over time. Every thought you change, every belief you replace, brings you closer to the life you desire. Now that we've explored how to reprogram your mind for lasting change, in the next section, we'll dive into the practice of mindfulness in daily life. Stay with me as we move into Section 6, Daily Mindfulness Practices, a Journey of Transformation. Section 6, Daily Mindfulness Practices, a Journey of Transformation. Have you ever wondered how much of your day is spent in the present moment? It's easy to get caught up in the rush of life, busy with tasks, constantly thinking about what's next. But here's the truth. Peace doesn't exist in the future. It exists in the present. And if we don't learn how to be fully present, we miss out on the beauty of life unfolding around us. Buddhist wisdom offers a powerful tool to cultivate inner peace and transform our lives. Mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully aware of the present moment, without judgment or distraction. It's about focusing on what's happening right now, whether you're breathing, walking, eating, or simply being. The beauty of mindfulness is that it doesn't require hours of meditation or special circumstances. It can be practiced in every single moment of your day. Think about this for a moment. How many times today have you been truly present? How many times did your mind wander, thinking about the past or the future? What would happen if you could bring your full attention to whatever you are doing right now? The first step in practicing mindfulness is simply pausing. When you feel the pull of distractions, or your mind begins to race, take a moment to pause, stop, take a deep breath, and bring your attention back to the present. Whether it's a few seconds or a few minutes, this simple pause can make a world of difference. One of the easiest ways to practice mindfulness is through breathing. Your breath is always with you, and it can be a powerful anchor to bring your attention back to the present moment. Try this. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath in. Hold it for a moment, then exhale slowly. As you breathe, focus all your attention on the sensation of the breath entering and leaving your body. This practice helps calm the mind and bring clarity, especially when you feel overwhelmed by overthinking. Buddhist teachings emphasize that true peace comes when we learn to be aware of every moment without judgment. This means that if your mind starts to wander, you don't fight it. You simply notice it and gently bring your focus back to the present. It's not about being perfect. It's about returning to the present, again and again, with patience and kindness toward yourself. Here's something to reflect on. What would your life look like if you practiced mindfulness for just 5 minutes every day? What if, instead of worrying about the future or replaying the past, you focused on the task at hand? How would that change your mental health, your relationships, and your overall sense of peace? Mindfulness is more than just a practice. It's a way of life. It's about shifting from autopilot mode to living with intention and awareness. One way to integrate mindfulness into your daily routine is by turning everyday activities into moments of awareness. For example, when you're drinking a cup of tea or coffee, focus on the warmth of the cup in your hands, the aroma of the drink, and the sensation as you take a sip. Or, when you're walking, feel the ground beneath your feet, the air around you, and the movement of your body. These moments of mindfulness can be powerful, helping you break free from the chaos of overthinking and return to a place of calm. Another simple but powerful mindfulness practice is mindful listening. When someone is speaking to you, give them your full attention. Instead of thinking about your response or letting your mind wander, focus on their words, tone, and body language. This practice not only enhances your connection with others, but it also helps you stay grounded in the present moment. Mental health is deeply affected by how much time we spend in the present moment. When we're constantly lost in thoughts about the past or future, it creates stress, anxiety, and emotional turmoil. But by practicing mindfulness, we can reduce the impact of these mental and emotional fluctuations. Mindfulness helps us become more resilient, more balanced, and more at peace with whatever comes our way. What if you could turn every moment into a practice of mindfulness? What if, instead of rushing through your day, you slowed down and really paid attention to the present moment? What could that do for your overall sense of well-being and mental clarity? As you continue practicing mindfulness, you'll begin to notice profound changes in your life. The more present you become, the more peace you'll experience. Mindfulness allows you to break free from the constant chatter of overthinking and reclaim your mental health. It's a journey of transformation, one moment at a time. In the next section, we'll explore how consistency and patience can create lasting change in your life. Stay with me as we move into Section 7, Consistency and Patience, Sustainable Transformation. Section 7, Consistency and Patience, Sustainable Transformation. Have you ever tried to make lasting change in your life, only to feel frustrated when the results don't come as quickly as you hoped? We've all been there. It's easy to get excited about a new goal or intention, but the real challenge comes when the novelty fades and we're left with the work of consistency. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that true transformation is not immediate. It's not about quick fixes or instant results. It's about small, consistent actions that, over time, create lasting change. Just like planting a seed and watering it every day, the growth may not be immediately visible, but with patience and persistence, it eventually blossoms into something beautiful. So, what does consistency look like in practice? It means showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It means committing to your mindfulness practice, your affirmations, or your self-care, even on the days when your mind wants to wander off into overthinking. Change doesn't happen overnight, but with patience, it will happen. The key is to trust the process and know that every small step you take brings you closer to your goal. Ask yourself this: how often do you give up on something because you don't see immediate results? What would happen if you committed to something for 30 days, 60 days, or even 90 days without giving up, no matter how small the progress seemed? Buddhism often speaks of the importance of discipline and patience in spiritual practice. The Buddha himself spent years in meditation before he reached enlightenment. He didn't give up, even when the path seemed long and difficult. And it's the same with our mental health and personal growth. We must commit to the journey with patience and perseverance, understanding that change is a process. Here's a simple practice. Choose one small habit you want to build. It could be 5 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of mindfulness, or a daily affirmation practice. Commit to doing this one thing every day, no matter what. You may not see dramatic results at first, But after a week, a month, or even longer, you'll begin to notice how these small actions are transforming your mindset. They'll help shift your inner world and bring lasting peace to your mental health. Consistency also means being kind to yourself when you slip up. We all fall short sometimes. The key is to not let one setback derail your progress. If you miss a day, don't beat yourself up. Simply return to your practice the next day with even more dedication. Patience with yourself is part of the process. What if, instead of focusing on quick fixes or immediate results, you focused on consistency and small steps? What if, like the Buddha, you trusted that every effort, no matter how small, contributes to your transformation? Imagine the impact on your mental health and well-being if you embraced patience and persistence in your practice. In the end, the journey to mastering your mind, taming overthinking, and creating a peaceful, empowered life is not about one big breakthrough. It's about the small, consistent actions you take each day. And as you continue with those actions, you will see real, lasting transformation in your life. As we move toward the end of our journey, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've learned so far. In the next section, we'll conclude with a summary of key insights and how you can apply them to create a life of peace and fulfillment. Stay with me as we transition into the conclusion. Conclusion. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and transformation. We've covered so much, from mastering the wild elephant of the mind to reprogramming our thoughts for lasting change. By now, you have learned that overthinking and uncontrolled thoughts are not your enemies. They are simply habits waiting to be changed. The real power lies within you. You have the ability to guide your mind with patience, consistency, and the profound teachings of Buddhist wisdom. When you practice mindfulness, observe your thoughts, and choose empowering beliefs, you can break free from the cycle of overthinking and create a life of peace and clarity. I want to take a moment to express my deep gratitude for your time and attention. It's not easy to make time for personal growth, and I truly appreciate your commitment to bettering yourself. By reflecting on these teachings, you are already taking the first steps toward a more peaceful, focused, and happy life. I congratulate you for recognizing the value in these lessons. Now, it's time to put them into practice. Remember, mental health is a lifelong journey. It's about showing up each day with patience, consistency, and a willingness to grow. What small changes can you make today that will improve your mental health tomorrow? What will you commit to practicing every day to train your mind? I encourage you to take one step at a time. Start with just 5 minutes of mindfulness each morning, or write down a positive affirmation to guide your day. Let these small habits begin to transform your life, one moment at a time. The results will come, but remember, it's the journey that truly matters. If you found these teachings helpful, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel, Son.Mindfulness. By subscribing, you'll stay connected to more content that will continue to guide you on your path to peace and clarity. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. What part of this journey resonated with you the most? How do you plan to apply these practices in your daily life? I would love to hear from you and continue the conversation. Thank you again for watching. May you always be healthy, peaceful, happy, and may you find good fortune in all your endeavors. I wish you all the best as you embark on your journey of mindfulness and transformation. Stay mindful, and remember, you are the sky, not the clouds. Thank you.